Howdy everyone, ArgonMatrix here, welcome you back to Let's Play The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, Episode 2 here. Starting off on a great foot, we're at a -1 win streak, which is a pretty embarrassing way to start things off, considering this is only Episode 2. We did unlock Lazarus, thankfully, so our last run wasn't entirely in vain. But I don't think we're going to play as Lazarus right now. We're just going to go back and try and win as Isaac, because you gotta win as Isaac before any other character. It's right in the name of the game. Alright, they're starting off easy on me here. We got little Gertie right in our first item room. A Gerd of my very own. Basically what this guy does is you hold down your fire button and he kind of charges up, revving his engines there, and then kind of fires off at super fast speeds depending on how long you charge them. I'm going to head in here as well, pick up this card, which is the Devil, which is similar to the Empress that we had in the last run, in that it gives us a small damage upgrade for one room. Which is nice. I'll probably save that for some sort of boss fight, depending on when I think I might need it. I have kind of a bad habit of just using it on any old boss fight instead of saving for an actually like hard boss fight, or even just a hard room or like a mob trap room or something. So maybe I'll try and prioritize that a little more. Like I said, and like you probably saw from the last video if you watched the first episode, I'm not very good at this game. You're just going to have to try and come to expect that from me. Maybe I'll improve as I go along here. Maybe part of it is also just the Let's Play curse, in that it's harder to play a game when you're talking over it, because your focus is obviously divided among so many other different things. But I digress. It's not an excuse I'm trying to make, obviously. I'm 1,000 hours into this game. I shouldn't be dying on my first run like that. And I am, quite frankly, embarrassed, and I'm taking damage like an idiot here, like a maroon. But, you know what, we're going to keep trudging onward, learning and progressing, and when Afterbirth Plus comes out, it's going to be a whole another slew of learning and progressing. And probably even more losses in the interim, which I'll be fine with, honestly. Losing when I'm learning new mechanics is a whole different story. Like when I'm trying to learn to use a new item that's just been added to the game or something. That'll be a fun experience for me, I think. Because you learn more from a failure than you do from a success a lot of the time. I don't know how true that is of video games necessarily, but I think it's fairly accurate. A lot of fires in here, which is sort of a trademark of the Burning Basement. This is Little Horn, which is a relatively hard fight, so I think I will go ahead and pop the Devil deal. Relatively hard in comparison to other first floor bosses anyway. This might be one that was added in Afterbirth here. Don't tell me I'm gonna die already. This would be so embarrassing, man. I did actually toy with the idea of just like scrapping that first video, because like obviously it's the first one, no one needs to know. It's not like I have like any sort of win streak that I'm gonna be messing with, but I tend to live my life honestly enough. And I suppose, honestly, I could have just forgone that video and tried to get a win on my first video. Either way, this is Growth Hormones, which is a speed and damage upgrade. Pretty significant, honestly. Pretty nice. One of my more favorite syringes. There are multiple syringes in the game. And if you collect 3 of them in one run, you actually get a transformation. That is one thing that Afterbirth added a lot of compared to Rebirth, is different transformations. Because in the original Binding of Isaac, if you ever played that, there was only one transformation, I believe. You could turn into Guppy if you picked up 3 Guppy items, which we haven't even gotten into yet, but those are usually found on deals with the Devil. And Guppy is a very powerful sort of transformation. And then I think in Rebirth they added Lord of the Flies, which is gotten by collecting 3 fly items on one run. And then they added a whole slew of different ones, like I think 4 or 5 different ones on, maybe even more than that, honestly, in Afterbirth here. I'm just continually holding down the fire button, by the way, just so I have my little Gertie charged up and ready to go whenever I need him. I didn't really need him there, honestly, but he had fun anyway, it looked like. Alright, we got our boss fight right here. We still haven't found our item room. We do have the keys in order need to access it. But I think I'll fight my boss now, just because I haven't taken any red heart damage on this floor. It's Monstro, so we should be relatively okay here. I think Monstro does have some attacks that deal 1 heart of damage, so I gotta be a little careful on that front, but I fought him enough times that hopefully I'll be able to do this without taking any hits. And then I can get a deal with the Devil, and then continue by going back and exploring the rest of the floor to get my item and potentially my shop as well. I have 7 cents, which is not always enough to make use of a shop, but for something like a spirit heart, it might be worth stopping in. Generally, an item in the shop, which is what you're probably going to want to go for, is 15 cents. It can be 7 cents on sale, though. Mom's Lipstick is a range up and also a step towards the Mom transformation, which is another new one added. Alright, so we got two new items here. New for this playthrough anyway. We got the Goat Head, which I will pick up. He accepts your offering. Basically, it guarantees that you'll get a devil deal on every single floor, regardless of whether you take red heart damage or have one on the previous floor or not. Black Powder I'm not going to take. I'm just going to let that be. Just because it's a pretty good item, honestly, especially if you have a high enough speed to make use of it. But I don't really have the HP necessary to be comfortable taking that. Let me go ahead and step into the shop here, see if we can actually pick anything up. I think I will take that, just because I like to be safe, and I'd really rather not lose my first 2 runs in a row, if nothing else. Alright, there's our item room. Good job. Nice try there, little Gertie. Alright, what do we got? That's little Loki, I believe. 4-way buddy. He basically fires 4 directional tiers just like that, which is reminiscent of a boss we'll probably encounter at some point in the future. Loki. Alright, there's our secret room. We got 3 bombs, which will allow me to bomb into the curse room here. So now I can enter this without taking damage by walking over the spikes on the door. There is one Guppy item, that's Guppy's Tail. It increases our chances of getting chests after completing a room, I believe. Specifically golden chests, I think. This is a stone chest that we have to bomb open. Ooh, I will take that. That's Bob's Brain. It's kind of a high risk, high reward sort of item. The risk is that when you fire it, it kind of fires out with your tears like that. And when it hits an enemy, it will explode in a rather large explosion. The downside is, like I was saying, the risk part is that that can hurt you. And I think it does a full heart of damage just like any other explosion. But the benefit, obviously, is that it does a significant amount of damage. And is also one of the 3 items that contribute towards the Bob transformation. So we have so many items contributing towards so many transformations. It's just kind of hilarious. I don't have really the keys necessarily to make use of that room, so not going to worry about it. And thankfully, now that we have Goat Head, I don't need to worry as much about taking damage on these floors. Because even if I take red heart damage, I'll still get my deal with the devil. Not that I'm guaranteed to be able to take anything, like I said, unless I get an HP upgrade or 2 in the interim here. And when Bob's Brain explodes on an enemy, it'll take I think probably 5 to 10 seconds to respawn. It doesn't respawn on like a room by room basis as many other things in the game do. It's a time-based thing, which is sort of odd, but is honestly probably better than the alternative. Alright, let me stand far back. When this item was first introduced, Bob's Brain that is, here we got Robo Baby who fires little technology tiers. We got a little train of buddies here going on, especially once Bob's Brain comes back. I'm a fan of it. And once this was first introduced, I was so bad at just forgetting that it was even there and just hitting myself with it over and over again, as I'm sure many Rebirth and Afterbirth players alike can testify to. But I like to think that I've gotten, in my playthroughs here, better at not hitting myself with it. Not perfect, obviously. The Stain, this is kind of a sort of pseudo variant on the boss we fought in the last playthrough, Polycephalus. Obviously a little bit more of a bullet hell style attack here than Polycephalus ever had. And he also wants to try and stay far away from him when he pops up like that, because he spawns enemies sometimes, and sometimes he spawns creep on the ground, which is that stuff that you might have seen that damages us when we walk over it, that some enemies can spawn. Looks kind of like blood, or in the case of some enemies, poison. There we go. Bob's Brain also does inflict poison damage after it explodes on an enemy, which is nice. Wooden Spoon is a speed upgrade, which I'll never turn my nose down at. Ooh, speaking of high risk, high reward items, this is the Whore of Babylon, which is basically what it does is it gives you a pretty significant damage upgrade, but only if you're at half a red heart or less, which means either full spirit hearts are your health, or you're sitting at just half a red heart and going in berserk mode. I think I'm feeling a little ballsy today. I don't know why, because I did just lose that run. This is pretty much right after I recorded that previous run. And let's give it a whirl, man. I did unlock Samson, which is done by not taking damage for 2 floors, which I'm pretty stunned that I managed to do that, honestly. This is probably... You can tell this is a boss trap room, by the way, because the door... There's a little gray skull above this door. Normally it's just the crossed swords. This could be worth it, because stone chests do contain pretty nice items a lot of the time, but I think I'm going to go ahead and explore a little bit. Oh, I'm probably dead on this room, honestly. Oh, God, I have to be very careful here. Okay, that was actually a great use of Bob's brain right there. Alright, just gotta get this last guy, because anything that hits me in this room would have done a heart of damage, which would have outright killed me. Just like that would have. Oh my god. Why did I take Horror Babylon? I'm such an idiot. Oh, if I can find the shop and potentially buy a spirit heart, that would probably be my best option here. We also have this arcade, which I think... Oh god, there's like a bunch of weird sort of qualifications that you need to meet in order to spawn an arcade on any given floor. I will open that, actually. That's Tammys Head, which fires a... it's a 1 charge item that fires a tier burst, which changes depending on what tier effects you have. Yeah, I think in order to spawn an arcade, it needs to be like the 2nd floor of any given section, so a basement 2, caves 2, depths 2, that sort of thing. And you need to have at least 5 cents, I think. I might be wrong about that, I'm not sure. But I will save my money for now, just in case... Because I could gamble away on the slot machine and try to get a spirit heart that way, but the odds of that are pretty infinitesimal compared to what might be a guaranteed spirit heart on the shop. Of course, I did squander my one and only key now, so getting into the shop on its own is going to be a bit of a nightmare. My fast speed is now betraying me a little bit with these spikes around. Okay, we're good. Thankfully, once I press that button, those spikes just are done with. Some rooms will not be so kind to us. Alright, we got Pride here. Another one of the deadly Sin mini-bosses. Got annihilated, basically, by Bob's brain there. The Tower. Very dangerous sort of card to use in this situation, especially, because it spawns a bunch of bombs in the room. That will just explode. Like, not consumable bombs, but just bombs that will instantly explode. Alright, gonna back off a little bit so I get away from the Bob's brain explosion there. Not so bad. Don't let that guy hit you because he'll do a heart of damage. Alright, we're good. Man, I feel laser focused right now because I know that if I'm not, then I'm very liable to lose this this run pretty instantly here. Alright, we're good though. These spikes are going to stick around. That is a trinket, which is sort of a passive item that hangs out in your bottom left there, and you can swap it out with other trinkets. Butt Penny makes it so that we fart whenever we pick up a coin, which is virtually worthless, honestly. Just because farting, it doesn't do any damage or anything, it just makes it so... Can I... There we go, that was nice. It makes it so it's a little bit of a knockback on certain enemies. Which is very, very situational, obviously. Ooh. Or watch out for that Bob's brain when it... Oh god, I almost walked right on that spike. That would have been the worst way to go out, man. Alright, there we go. Now I can not get into that shop because I still don't have any keys. Silly me, use it on that one golden chest back there. I don't even remember what I got out of it. I got Tammy's Head, that's right. So not the worst thing in the world, I suppose, because Tammy's Head is pretty useful. I think it doesn't just fire a spray of your tears, it fires a spray of your tears that's damaged up, or like its damage has been increased. Damaged up, what kind of a phrase is that, dude? I'm gonna try and bomb down here for the secret room. There we go. Be something great, please. Money. I have enough money. There's the butt penny effect. I have enough money to buy something in the shop if I could actually just get in there. Just need 1 key, man. I prefer to have 2 keys, honestly. And I might go up to the arcade and try and gamble for 2 keys. Or at least 1 key in order to get into either the shop or the item room. Probably the shop if I don't have a spirit heart by then. There we go. Let's keep on heading down here. Oh, this is a nasty room. I am going to forego this. and just head up to the arcade and sort of gamble this money away. Because I think that's probably my best bet here at survivability. Let's see what we can make happen. Well, thanks, Bob's Brain. At least we got a key out of that, so I will take that and kind of run for the hills for the time being now. Man, I hate this, that these first 2 runs that I've had are so dicey that I have to play so cautiously and slowly. But, oh gosh. Alright, what do we got in here? No Spirit Hearts, man. Well, that's a bit of a bummer, honestly. I could pick up this pill or the placebo here. Well, I can't pick up the placebo, obviously, because I don't have enough money. And that guy didn't drop any money for me, so lovely. I don't really want the placebo, though, because basically what the placebo does, it's a spacebar item, so it'll replace Tammy's Head for us. And it lets you sort of reuse one pill infinitely. It is charge-based, so you can't just keep using it over and over, but we don't really have a pill to make use of that, so I'm going to go ahead and forego that, and I don't know, I guess go fight the boss. Son of a bitch, man. Son of a bitch. Drive all night. Can't get laid. Is that how that song goes? I don't even remember. Sorry if I'm talking a little quietly, by the way. My family's sleeping right now. This will probably have to be my last recording for the night. Alright, let's see what we got for a boss here. Please don't be too nasty. The Forsaken. Could be worse. It certainly could be worse. I would have really liked to land Bob's Brain there. That's okay. That's okay. Sometimes I just like to land Bob's Brain in the hopes of getting rid of it. Okay. Bob's Brain, work your magic, please. There we go. Okay. We survived, and we got Spelunker Boy, which is gotten by not taking damage on either of the cave's floors. Got the Screw again, which is a nice upgrade. Oh my god. Why do you tease me so? Please be Spirit Hearts in this chest, for the love of everything. Oh, it actually is. You heard me. The Eyes of Gods, they love me. Because this is one of my favorite items. I unlocked Azazel. Okay. I wish I could be more excited, but I have to be quiet, like I said. This is Brimstone, which makes our tears into this, which is phenomenal, as you might guess. So we also now have Whore of Babylon active because we have no red hearts. And wow, the tables just turned so suddenly thanks to that devil deal. That is amazing. I can't take that one because that'll kill me, obviously. And I don't have any keys for that item room, unfortunately, so we're going to just go ahead and head down here. Now I have one of probably the most overpowered synergies in the game, though, which is Brimstone Tammy's Head, which, as you might be able to imagine, is pretty devastating a lot of the time, just like that. Oh, it even caused a little bit of slowdown there. Normally it doesn't do that, but I guess in conjunction with my recording setup right now, can be a little bit taxing on my computer, unfortunately. So, yeah. That is insane. This is ridiculous, man. I can't believe that just happened after such a harrowing previous floor. Now we're just curb stomping the game all of a sudden. This is crazy. Well, that's kind of the way Isaac goes a lot of the time, is that sometimes you just need to pick up that one perfect item that sometimes you don't even know that you need, or that's about to show up or something. Unicorn Horn is a good item. I can't really pick it up without walking into these spikes, though, so I'm going to pass. It's basically an active item that makes you invincible for one room and does makes you do pretty significant contact damage as well. Curse the Maze is making me jump all over the place here. As you can see, our Tammy's Head Brimstone combination is effectively one-shotting every room, which I am totally a fan of after the situation we found ourselves in the last, not even just the last floor, but the last run as well. Being able to just sort of lay into the game like this is a welcome blessing. Something I didn't even talk about, by the way, is that when we picked up Brimstone, we also unlocked Azazel, which was a new character, new to Rebirth, I believe, gotten by picking up at least 3 deals with the devil in one run. A very powerful character at that. This Brimstone thing that we have, she actually Azazel, she actually starts... Oh, sorry, he actually starts with that. I always want to call it a her. But it's not. Or she's not. Or he's not, sorry. Man. This is Monstro 2, who's significantly more difficult than Monstro. Still not that bad, especially with our ridiculously overpowered combination here. Oh, geez. Something I forgot to show, by the way. I'll show it after Monstro dies here. Get Mr. Doll, which is range and tears up. Obviously, the range doesn't matter because we have infinite range, but the tears up is nice because it makes our beam charge faster here. Something I need to show, though, is the seed here. 6 PT8s, ZLT8s. Both those T8s, man. Need to get in the habit of doing that at the start of each run. I could take one of these, but that'll put me in a pretty dicey situation, so I don't think I will. That Guppy item is tempting, though, because it'll be my second Guppy item, but I don't need Guppy in combination with this. It's already powerful enough. Alright, the only thing I really regret about this is that this run is going to end on the mom fight after this floor here. I really wish I could just take this down even further into the game, because it's such a powerful run, it could probably win the game all on its own. But, you know... I'm sure we'll encounter this exact synergy again at some point in the future, so it's nothing to be too worried about. So I think a win is effectively in the bag here, as you might be able to guess, based on our performance recently. We might actually be able to unlock a Dark Boy as well, which is the equivalent of Spelunker Boy that we got earlier in the video. But for getting through the depths / Necropolis here without taking any damage, which I don't think we've taken any so far, so... If I can just make it to the boss and defeat her without taking any more, then we'll be good to go. And that's honestly fine by me, because Dark Boy is probably one of the harder no damage achievements to unlock in this game. Not because the depths are specifically hard, it's just that I think compared to... I will take Infestation. Give me some fly action potentially if I get hit. It's compared to the point you're at in the game, it's... more difficult. It has a higher difficulty curve, I guess, than most other floors. It's probably the best way I can phrase that. Alright, not going to deal with that guy. This, I'm actually going to bomb these fires, because these blue fires, you can only be put out by bombs instead of tears, and they have a chance to drop spirit hearts when you blow them up as well, so just like that. Alright, a little bit more survivability, just in case I get into a bit of a harrowing situation. There's a tinted rock right here, actually, beside me. You can only sort of see the X on this one. As you get later in the game, tinted rocks become harder and harder to see. They're nigh impossible to see on the floors after the depths, which we can't even access yet anyway, so no sense talking about that. I was a little worried on that spike room that we'd take damage, but we've been fine, honestly. I might as well charge up. Actually, I probably shouldn't charge up my beam, because that'll make Bob's brain fire when I really don't want it to. Alright, and we got the boss fight here, so let's take on the boss of the depths too. Mom. Psst. Hilariously enough. Can we do this?
Isaac was cornered. His mother, fueled with the desire to serve her God, was bearing down on Isaac. "I will do as I'm told, my lord. I love you above all else," Isaac's mother repeated to herself. This was the end of the line for Isaac. His mother was far too strong for him. But just as he accepted his fate, God intervened, sending an angel down from above to stop his mother's hand. And just like that, it was over.
There we go, ending number 1 of 17 or so, I think, that will slowly unravel the game's story-ish. They don't explain everything, but man, that run went from 0 to 100 real quick. I'm almost a little sad about that, because I didn't even get to show off the mom fight that much, because I just one-shot her, but that's the nature of the beast, I suppose. Here's all the lovely people that created this game. We get used to... or enjoy these credits while they last, I should say, because we're probably not going to be seeing them all that much as we get later in the series. I will probably show them after each ending. Special thanks to all these lovely folks. I actually recognize some of the names on this list from YouTubers and stuff that I watch, which is kind of cool. Let's see what we unlock after this. We unlocked the Womb, which is the set of floors after the depths. We unlocked all these challenges, which is something else I'll have to get into. Not going to bother explaining it right now. Pride Day. So many challenges getting unlocked, man. It's kind of crazy. We got the Harbingers, which is a new set of bosses, a Cupid Meatball Bandages, and Dark Boy. We did, in fact, get Dark Boy, so it didn't take any damage, which I'm happy to get that one out of the way early. And we got a new little splash screen for our file here. Still ways to go before we match this one, which is my 1001% file, which is literally everything unlocked in the game. But we'll get there eventually. Yeah, here are the challenges, just to briefly show them off. Some of the ones we unlocked down here, specifically added in Afterbirth. We'll deal with all these eventually, but for now, that's gonna have to be it. Pretty insane run, honestly. Thanks everyone for watching. Next time we'll maybe take a crack at a Lazarus or a Zazel run. We'll see how that goes, or a Samson run. Actually, I forgot we unlocked you. All right. Regardless, thanks everyone for watching. This is ArgonMatrix signing out. Thank you and good night.